tensions can really start to build at work and at home with so much going on and so many plates to spin. And the daily temperature reading that we've been going through from Virginia Satir in my last few clips really provides a powerful way to help us get through those. We've looked at starting the conversation with appreciations, building understanding through new information, and then looking at puzzles, reframing our problems so that they become common issues that we can solve. Today I'm going to talk about complaints and recommendations. Now, most of us want to start our check-in with complaints. We want to tell the other person what they've done wrong and how they've done it wrong. And it is important to verbalise the things that we're not happy with. So putting it in a frame of the daily temperature reading makes it a little bit more manageable, that the complaint is part of what we not need to talk about, but not necessarily all of the picture. So a complaint can be, I'm really not happy with how that went. I'd really like more input here. I'd like you to do more in this area. I'm really upset. I feel really upset about something. Or when you did something, I felt very unnerved or very undermined. So complaints about being really honest about where we are and how we responded to that other person. And it's really important to be able to hear the other person's complaints as well. Even just listening to that person's complaint can diffuse it to a degree. Sometimes we just need to know that the other person has heard that we're not okay with how they've done something or how they've behaved. And then recommendations are also really useful, particularly in the frame of the daily temperature reading, because often people don't want to know our opinion. Often people don't want our recommendations. But the daily temperature reading provides a frame whereby we say specifically, this is where I'm going to tell you what I think. I think it would be better if you did it this way. I'd like you to do it that way. And again, just like complaints, we have a frame within which to work so that we're also looking at other things as well as complaints and recommendations. We need to know that often it's hard to hear other people's complaints. It's hard to hear other people's recommendations. But when put in such a way where, obviously there are going to be complaints. Obviously there are going to be things that I'd like you to do differently. And we accept that as a premise for our conversation. We can then kind of put our shackles down a little bit and have the conversations about those things in a much easier way. So I hope you enjoy talking about your complaints and recommendations in the context of the other agenda items. And in the next clip, and the last of this series, we'll be looking at wishes, hopes and dreams.